What if spilling ice cream on a stranger changed your entire life? What if that stranger turned out to be a powerful billionaire with a secret that could get you killed? And what if he decided in that exact moment that you belonged to him forever? Welcome back to Gracie Werewolf Storybank, where we bring you the most addictive love stories that'll have you on the edge of your seat. Today's story is about Priscilla Smith, a struggling assistant in Atlanta who accidentally crashes into the city's most dangerous man, Christopher Aslan. One collision, one claim, and her ordinary life becomes anything but. Before we start, do me a favor. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and drop your city or country in the comments below. Are you watching from California, Florida, Las Vegas? I love seeing where you're all watching from. And if you're Team Possessive Billionaire, comment mine right now. All right, let's get into it. Chapter 1. The Splash. Priscilla's day started like any other broke girl in Atlanta morning, checking her bank account and immediately regretting it. $300 until payday. Rent was due in a week. Her ancient Toyota needed an oil change she couldn't afford. And her boss, Tamara, had been breathing down her neck about cost-cutting measures, which was corporate speak for, your job might disappear. So, yeah, great day. She treated herself to ice cream from Sweet Cream Dreams on Peachtree Street. Mint chocolate chip, her comfort flavor. It cost $8, which was ridiculous, but sometimes you had to choose happiness over financial responsibility. The Atlanta heat slammed into her the second she stepped outside. 95 degrees and humid enough to make her curls explode into a frizzy halo. She juggled her phone, her oversized tote bag, and the rapidly melting cone while trying to text her roommate, Kenna. That's when everything went sideways. She walked straight into what felt like a brick wall wrapped in expensive fabric. The impact sent her ice cream flying. Green mint chocolate chips splattered across a pristine black suit jacket. White dress shirt. Probably cost more than her rent tie. Oh no! Oh God, no! Priscilla stared in horror at the mess. She looked up, way up, at the man she'd just assaulted with dairy products. Tall didn't cover it. He was easily 6'4", with sharp cheekbones, a jaw that could cut diamonds, and eyes so dark they looked black. His hair was perfectly styled, his presence commanding in a way that made people on the sidewalk give him a wide berth without even realizing it. He stared down at her, completely still, didn't even blink. Priscilla's mouth went dry. I am so sorry. I'll pay for the dry cleaning. I can. She fumbled for her wallet, knowing the $8 inside wouldn't even cover the consultation fee. Then something weird happened. His nostrils flared. His entire body went rigid, and his eyes, those impossibly dark eyes, locked onto hers with intensity that made her stomach flip. Your name. His voice was rough, deep, like whiskey and smoke. What? Your name, he repeated, stepping closer. Too close. She could smell him now. Cedar, something sharp and clean, and underneath it all, something wild she couldn't identify. Priscilla. Priscilla Smith. Her brain was short-circuiting. Listen, I really am sorry about your suit. Christopher Aslan. He extended a hand, still covered in her ice cream. She shook it anyway, because what else was she supposed to do? His grip was firm, warm, and sent electricity shooting up her arm. He didn't let go. You work nearby? Those dark eyes hadn't left her face. Yeah. Peachtree Tower. I'm an administrative assistant. Why was she telling him this? I should probably get napkins or... Don't. The command in his voice stopped her cold. I'll handle it. A sleek black Range Rover pulled up to the curb like it had been summoned. A driver stepped out, tall, professional, completely unsurprised by his boss's ice cream-covered state. Christopher finally released her hand. I'll see you soon, Priscilla Smith. Not maybe, not have a nice day. A promise. He climbed into the SUV and disappeared into Atlanta traffic. Priscilla stood on the sidewalk, melted cone dripping onto her clearance rack sandals, wondering what the hell just happened. A woman walking past gave her a sympathetic look. Honey, you okay? I just dumped ice cream on a man who drives a Range Rover. At least you made an impression. Yeah, that's what she was afraid of. Chapter 2. The summons. Monday morning hit Priscilla like a freight train. Her phone buzzed at 6 a.m. Text from Tamara. Executive floor, 8 a.m. sharp. Don't be late. The executive floor, where she'd never been because third-floor assistants didn't exactly mingle with the penthouse crowd. She threw on her best work dress, a Navy Target special that was professional-ish, and caught the MARTA train downtown. Peachtree Tower loomed over Midtown, all glass and steel and intimidation. The elevator ride to the 23rd floor felt like ascending to another planet. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the city. Everything was chrome and marble and art that probably cost more than her student loans. A receptionist with a name tag reading Bellamy Cho looked up with a warm smile. Priscilla Smith? That's me. Mr. Aslan is expecting you. Priscilla's heart stopped. I'm sorry, who? Christopher Aslan, our CEO. Bellamy stood. Right this way. No, no way. Ice Cream Guy was the CEO of the entire company? She followed Bellamy down a hallway lined with abstract paintings that hurt to look at. They stopped at massive double doors. Bellamy knocked once. Go ahead. Priscilla pushed open the door. Christopher Aslan sat behind a desk the size of her bedroom, wearing a tailored suit. He looked up, and those dark eyes pinned her in place. Sit. He gestured to the leather chair across from him. She sat, gripped her coffee station cup like a lifeline. You've been working here 2 years, he said, not looking at any files. Just knowing. Business degree from Georgia State. Graduated summa cum laude despite working 2 jobs. Student body treasurer, volunteer coordinator for the food bank. How do you... I make it my business to know things. He leaned back. You're wasted on the 3rd floor. I like my job. You're filing expense reports and ordering office supplies. His gaze was relentless. You could be doing more. Is there a point to this? Because I have work. I'm offering you a position, executive assistant, to me. Priscilla nearly dropped her cup. You're joking. I don't joke about business. He slid a folder across the desk. Salary, benefits, start date. Look it over. She opened it, stared at the number. That salary had 3, no, 4, more zeros than her current paycheck. Why me? Suspicion crept in. Something flickered in his expression. Hunger, possession, gone before she could name it. He stood, walked around the desk, stopped close enough that she had to tilt her head back. You're intelligent, resourceful, and you don't fold under pressure. You got all that from me destroying your suit? His mouth almost smiled. You didn't apologize and run. You faced the situation head on. That's rare. This is insane. It's a job offer, Priscilla, a good one. He returned to his desk. You have until 5 p.m. to decide. She stood, legs shaky. And if I say no? His eyes flashed with something dark, dangerous. You won't. The certainty in his voice should have made her angry. Instead, it made her pulse race. Chapter 3. First Day Chaos. Priscilla said yes, because student loans and rent don't pay themselves, and turning down that salary would have been financial suicide. Her first day started at 7 a.m. Christopher's office was ridiculous, all dark wood and leather, with windows overlooking the Atlanta skyline. Her desk sat just outside in a space that was nicer than her entire apartment. Everything smelled expensive, leather, wood polish, that cedar scent she was starting to associate with him. Christopher arrived at 7:15 carrying 2 coffee cups, set one on her desk without a word. She picked it up. Caramel macchiato, extra shot, oat milk. Her exact order. How did you... I pay attention. He disappeared into his office. Priscilla stared at the coffee. That should have been her first red flag. The morning was chaos. Christopher's calendar was packed with back-to-back meetings with investors, board members, and people whose names she recognized from business magazines. He ran his company like a military operation, efficient, ruthless, no room for error. And he watched her constantly. Not creepy, just aware, like he knew exactly where she was at all times. At noon, he emerged from his office. Lunch. I brought a sandwich. Come. Not a request. She grabbed her phone and followed him to the elevator. The ride down was silent, tension thick enough to choke on. The Range Rover waited outside, Nolan behind the wheel. Where are we going? She asked as they merged into midtown traffic. South City Kitchen. That's expensive. Is it? He didn't look up from his phone. The restaurant was exactly as pricey as she feared. The host greeted Christopher by name and led them to a private corner booth. Order whatever you want, Christopher said. I can't afford. You're not paying. His tone left no room for argument. Consider it a working lunch. She ordered the cheapest thing on the menu, a soup and salad combo. He ordered half the menu. You need to eat more, he said when the food arrived. You're too thin. Excuse me? You skip lunch, work through breaks, I've noticed. He pushed a plate of cornbread toward her. That stops now. You can't just. I can, and I will. His eyes met hers. You work for me now, that means I take care of you. Something about the way he said it, possessive, absolute, made her shiver. This is weird, she muttered. This is how I operate. He cut into a steak. Get used to it. The rest of lunch was equally strange. Him asking about her life, her family, Mom and Marietta, Dad who left when she was 10, her dreams, maybe grad school someday, if she could afford it. Things a boss shouldn't care about. When they returned to the office, Priscilla had more questions than answers. But Christopher Aslan wasn't the type to give explanations. She'd have to figure him out herself. And something told her that discovering his secrets might be the most dangerous thing she'd ever done. Chapter 4. The Unwanted Visitor. 2 weeks into the job, Priscilla had learned 3 critical things about her boss. 1. He never raised his voice, but his silence could make grown men sweat. 2. He watched her like a hawk. Not in a creepy way, more like he needed to know she was safe at all times. 3. Nobody messed with Christopher Aslan. Not the board, not competitors, nobody. Friday afternoon, a man she didn't recognize strolled past her desk without stopping. Excuse me, sir, you can't? He ignored her completely and walked straight into Christopher's office. Priscilla jumped up and followed. I'm sorry, he just. It's fine. Christopher's voice had gone arctic. Close the door. She did. But something felt wrong, so she stayed. The intruder was tall, blonde, expensive suit, Madison Avenue smile that didn't reach his eyes. Aslan. The man's gaze swept the office. Heard you hired fresh blood. Greaves. Christopher didn't stand, didn't move. State your business. Just being neighborly, checking on my competition. Greaves's attention slid to Priscilla. Lingered. Pretty assistant, very pretty. She part of the benefits package? The temperature in the room dropped 20 degrees. Get out, Christopher's voice was barely above a whisper. Somehow that made it more terrifying. Greaves laughed. Touchy. I'm just making conversation. Christopher moved faster than should have been humanly possible. 1 second behind his desk. The next, he had Greaves pinned against the wall by his throat. You don't look at her. You don't speak about her. You don't think about her. Christopher's voice had gone guttural. Or I'll end you. Understood? Greaves clawed at Christopher's hand, face turning red. You're insane. No, I'm protective. Christopher's grip tightened. Now get out of my building before I forget we have witnesses. He released Greaves, who stumbled toward the door, gasping. This isn't over, Aslan. Greaves choked out. Yes, it is. Christopher's eyes did something impossible. They flashed gold, just for a second. Next time you come near her, I won't be civilized about it. Greaves fled. Silence filled the office. Priscilla stood frozen, heart hammering. What the hell was that? Christopher's shoulders heaved. He braced his hands on his desk, head down. A mistake. You almost killed him. I should have. Christopher. Go home, Priscilla. He still wouldn't look at her. Please. That please scared her more than the violence. Are you okay? Finally, he lifted his head, and his eyes. They looked different, darker, something wild lurking beneath the surface. No, he said quietly. I'm not. She should have left, should have run, should have done anything except step closer. But she did, closed the distance between them until she stood right in front of him. Talk to me. I can't. His jaw clenched so hard she heard his teeth grind. You wouldn't understand. Try me. He took his time, reading her face as if it held answers. Then, like something broke inside him, that man, Greaves, he's dangerous. He wants to destroy everything I've built. And when he looked at you, Christopher's hands curled into fists. I wanted to tear him apart. That's not normal. I know. He met her eyes. Because I'm not normal, and neither is he. What does that mean? Christopher's laugh was bitter. It means you've stumbled into something you don't understand, something dangerous, and the smart thing would be for you to quit, right now, walk away and forget you ever met me. Priscilla's pulse raced. And if I don't? Then I protect you, with everything I have, because that's what… He stopped himself. That's what you deserve. What were you going to say? His eyes flashed gold again, no mistaking it this time. That's what you are to me, he finished quietly. Mine to protect. The possessiveness in his voice should have sent her running. Instead, all she could think was, what are you, Christopher Aslan? And why did part of her want to find out? Chapter 5. The Truth. Priscilla didn't go home. She stayed, demanded answers. Christopher led her to the leather couch by the windows. The Atlanta skyline glittered as twilight settled over the city. You want the truth? He poured 2 glasses of bourbon from a crystal decanter, handed her one. You'll think I've lost my mind. After what I just saw, try me. He sat across from her, ran a hand through his hair, the first time she'd seen him anything less than perfectly composed. My family isn't like most families. Rich people problems? She tried. Not rich, different. He met her eyes. We're wolves, Priscilla. The laugh escaped before she could stop it. Wolves? Like a mascot or… His eyes changed, right in front of her, brown to gold, glowing. The glass slipped from her hand. Bourbon soaked into the expensive rug. Oh my… Breathe. His voice stayed calm despite of his inhuman eyes. Just breathe. That's not… You can't. Werewolves aren't real. We are. The glow faded slowly. I'm the alpha of the Southeast Pack. I've led them for 5 years. Priscilla's brain refused to process this. This is a prank. Some elaborate… It's not. He leaned forward. 2 weeks ago, you walked into me on Peachtree Street. The moment I caught your scent, something inside me knew. You're my mate, Priscilla. You're what? Mate, the one person in the world meant for me. His intensity was overwhelming. Wolves spend their whole lives searching. Some never find theirs. But I found you, and there's no going back. She stood, started pacing. So you hired me to what? Trap me? I hired you to keep you close, to protect you. He stood too, and to give you time to understand what this means. There is no this. You're my boss, and apparently a werewolf. which made no rational sense at all. I know how this sounds. No, you don't. She whirled on him. My life was normal 3 weeks ago. Boring, but normal. Now you're telling me monsters are real and I'm supposed to be your mate? That man today, Greaves, he's a rival alpha. If he knows you're connected to me, he'll use you as leverage. Christopher's voice went rough. That's why I lost control. The thought of him touching you. Then fire me. Send me away where I'll be safe. I can't. Raw pain filled his expression. The wolf in me won't allow it. You're in my territory now, under my protection, whether you accept it or not. That's not fair. No, it's not. He stopped advancing. But it's the truth, and you deserve honesty, even if you hate me for it. Priscilla's mind spun. Werewolves, mates, alphas. This was beyond anything rational. But his eyes had changed. That wasn't contacts or camera tricks. That was real. Prove it, she heard herself say. What? Prove you're a wolf. Really prove it. Christopher's jaw tightened. Shifting isn't easy, Priscilla. It's painful. And if I do it here, you'll be terrified. I'm already terrified. For a long moment, his attention never left her, searching for something. Then nodded. All right. But not here. Come with me. Chapter 6. The Forest. They drove north out of Atlanta, in tense silence. Past the suburbs, past the sprawl, into the wooded areas where civilization thinned. Priscilla gripped the door handle. If this is where you murder me, if I wanted to hurt you, I would have done it already. He glanced at her. Trust me, just for tonight. Trust the man who says he's a werewolf. Yes. Something in his voice made her relax. Slightly. They turned onto a dirt road. Drove until trees surrounded them completely. No houses, no lights, just forest and darkness. Christopher parked in a small clearing and got out. Priscilla followed on shaky legs. Stay by the car, he said, removing his jacket. His tie. What are you? Clothes don't survive the shift. He unbuttoned his shirt. I'd rather not destroy another suit. She looked away as he stripped down, heat flooding her cheeks. Priscilla! She turned. He stood 20 feet away, completely unself-conscious in his nakedness. The moonlight made his skin glow. Don't run, he said. No matter what you see. If you run, my instincts will trigger. And I don't want to scare you more than necessary. Too late. His smile was sad. Then he dropped to his knees. What happened next would haunt her dreams, in ways both terrifying and beautiful. His body began to change. Bones cracked and reshaped, his spine curved, fur rippled across his skin, dark brown, almost black. His face elongated, jaw extending into a muzzle. Hands became massive paws tipped with claws. Priscilla pressed against the car, unable to look away. Where Christopher had knelt, a wolf now stood. Huge, the size of a small horse. Dark fur rippling in the breeze. Eyes still that impossible gold. Those eyes locked onto her. The wolf approached slowly, each step deliberate, non-threatening. It stopped 5 feet away, sat, waited. Christopher? Her voice shook. The wolf's ears perked forward. It made a sound, half whine, half rumble. Oh my God, it's really you. The wolf stood, padded closer, pressed its enormous head against her leg. Priscilla's hand moved without conscious thought, touched fur, soft, warm, real. The wolf leaned into her touch, that rumbling sound growing louder. This is impossible, she whispered. You're impossible. The wolf looked up at her, and despite the inhuman face, she saw Christopher in those golden eyes. Okay, she managed. Okay. I believe you. The shift happened again, faster this time. Bones snapping back into place, fur receding, until Christopher knelt on the ground, human again, breathing hard. He grabbed his pants before standing. Now you know. Priscilla's legs gave out. She slid down the car door. Christopher was beside her instantly. Breathe, just breathe. Werewolves are real. Yes. And you're one. Yes. And I'm supposed to be your. She couldn't say it. Mate, yes. He cupped her face gently. And I will spend the rest of my life keeping you safe. Because that's what mates do. She should pull away, should be horrified. Instead, she leaned into his warmth. This is insane. I know. I should quit, move to another state, change my identity. You could try. His thumb brushed her cheekbone. I'd find you. That's stalker behavior. Probably. His smile was rueful. But wolves don't follow human rules when it comes to their mates. What if I don't want this? Pain flashed across his face. Then I'll do everything I can to change your mind. But I won't force you. I'm not a monster. The sincerity in his voice cracked something in her chest. I need time, she whispered. You have it. And answers. Lots of answers. Whatever you need. He helped her stand. Let's get you home. As they drove back to Atlanta, Priscilla stared out the window. Her life had just turned into a paranormal romance novel. And the terrifying part? She wasn't sure she wanted to close the book. Chapter 7. The Attack. Life after the forest confession got weird. Priscilla went to work, did her job, pretended her boss wasn't a werewolf who claimed she was his soulmate. Christopher gave her space. Mostly. He still brought her coffee every morning, still insisted on driving her home, still watched her with that protective intensity that made her feel both safe and trapped. I have a car, she protested one evening, and I have enemies who know you exist. His tone left no room for argument. Humor me. She did, because despite everything, she felt safer with him than without. 2 weeks of relative peace. Then Greaves made his move. Priscilla was working late. Christopher had a board meeting that ran until 8. She texted him she'd grab an Uber home. Biggest mistake of her life. The car arrived within minutes. She climbed in, gave her Buckhead address. 3 blocks later, the driver took a wrong turn. Excuse me, this isn't. The driver turned, eyes glowing yellow. Wrong yellow, not Christopher's gold. Going somewhere else first, he said smoothly. Boss wants to meet you. Terror slammed into her. She grabbed the door handle, locked. Christopher sent me, the man lied. Change of plans. Nice try. She reached for her phone. He lunged over the seat, grabbed her wrist. The phone clattered to the floor. You're coming with me, human. Greaves has questions about your alpha. I don't know anything. Then you won't be much use, will you? His smile showed too many teeth. Priscilla remembered the self-defense class from college. Twisted her wrist, brought her knee up hard. The driver howled, actually howled. The car swerved. She yanked the handle. The door flew open. She tumbled out onto the street, rolled, scrambled to her feet. Pedestrians stopped, stared. Someone yelled about calling 911. The driver recovered fast, jumped out, advancing on her. You can't run, he growled. I'll catch you before you make it 10 feet. Then catch me. She bolted. Made it half a block before he tackled her. They crashed onto the sidewalk. Her head cracked against concrete. Pain exploded. Her vision blurred. The man grabbed her hair, yanking her head back. Should have come quiet. A roar tore through downtown Atlanta. Inhuman. Impossible. But there it was. The weight vanished. Priscilla rolled over, gasping. Christopher, still in his suit, no shift, had the driver by the throat, lifted off the ground, and slammed against a brick wall. The impact cracked the bricks. You touched her. Christopher's voice was barely human. Put your hands on what's mine. The driver clawed at Christopher's grip. Just following orders, Greaves said. I don't care. Christopher's eyes blazed gold, right there in public. You touched her, that's all that matters. Christopher! Priscilla struggled to stand, head spinning. There are people, cameras. He froze, looked at her. Some of the wildness faded from his eyes. Please, she said, don't kill him. The war played across his face, beast versus man, rage versus reason. Finally, he released the driver, who crumpled, gasping. Tell Greaves, Christopher said quietly. If he comes near her again, there will be war, and his pack won't survive it. The driver transformed right there on Peachtree Street, bones cracking, fur sprouting. A mangy brown wolf limped into an alley and vanished. Phones were out, people filming, sirens wailing in the distance. Christopher crossed to Priscilla, scooped her up like she weighed nothing. We need to go, now. She didn't argue. Too dizzy, too scared. The Range Rover materialized. Nolan must have been close. They were gone before the police arrived. Chapter 8. Safe Haven. Christopher took her to his penthouse. Not her apartment, his home. 30 floors above the city, all glass and steel and security that would make Fort Knox jealous. Your head, he said, voice tight with control. You're bleeding. It's not bad. Let me see. He set her gently on the couch, disappeared, returned with a first aid kit. His hands shook as he cleaned the wound. Barely noticeable, but she saw it. I'm okay, she said softly. You're not okay. He hurt you. Christopher's jaw clenched. I should have killed him. But you didn't. Because I asked you not to. This time. He applied butterfly bandages, with surprising gentleness. Next time, I might not listen. Then we make sure there's no next time. She grabbed his wrist. Christopher, look at me. He did. Gold flickered in his eyes. I'm still here. I'm safe. Because of you. She squeezed his wrist. Thank you for saving me. Something in him cracked. He pulled her close, buried his face in her hair. I felt it when you were afraid. The bond. Even though you haven't accepted it, I felt your terror, and I've never been that scared in my life. Bond? Mates can sense each other. Emotions, physical sensations. It gets stronger over time. He pulled back just enough to meet her eyes. I knew the second he touched you, felt your fear, and nothing has ever made me that close to losing control. But you didn't lose it. Because you asked me not to. His hand cupped her face. You're the only thing that could have stopped me. The only one. The intensity in his gaze stole her breath. Stay here tonight, he said. My guest room. I'll sleep on the couch. But please don't go home. Not until we figure out Greaves's next move. She should refuse. Should insist on her independence. Instead? Okay. Relief flooded his expression. Thank you. He showed her to a bedroom bigger than her entire apartment. Attached bathroom with a tub that could fit 4 people. Fluffy robes and towels that probably cost more than her monthly rent. Clothes in the closet, Christopher said from the doorway. They should fit. How? I pay attention. His slight smile made her stomach flutter. Get some rest. If you need anything, I'm right down the hall. He left before she could respond. Priscilla showered, washing away the fear and adrenaline, found silk pajamas in the closet, her exact size, of course, and collapsed into bed. But sleep wouldn't come. Because down the hall, Christopher Aslan was probably torturing himself over not killing that wolf. And somewhere in the city, Greaves was planning his next move. Her normal life was gone. Now she just had to decide if she wanted the extraordinary one Christopher was offering. Or if survival meant running as far and fast as she could. Chapter 9. The Choice. Morning came with the smell of coffee and bacon. Priscilla wandered into the kitchen to find Christopher at the stove, wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt that showed off muscles she'd only imagined under his suits. You cook? She asked. I'm a man of many talents. He plated eggs and bacon. Sit. Eat. She did, because the food smelled amazing and arguing seemed pointless. They ate in comfortable silence. Sunlight streamed through floor-to-ceiling windows, making Atlanta look almost peaceful. "We need to talk about Greaves," Christopher finally said. "I know." "He's not going to stop. Not until he gets what he wants, which is my territory, my pack, and my business empire." Christopher's fingers tightened around his mug. "And now he knows the fastest way to destroy me is through you. So what do we do?" "I deal with him, permanently." At her look, he added, "There are rules, pack law. I can't just kill another alpha without cause. But attacking a mate? That's grounds for a formal challenge." "What does that mean?" "Combat, to the death or submission. Winner takes everything." Fear spiked through her. "You could die." "I won't." His certainty was absolute. "I'm stronger, smarter, and I have something worth fighting for." "Me?" "You." He reached across the table, took her hand. "But I need you to understand something, Priscilla. If we do this, if I challenge him, there's no going back. Everyone will know you're my mate. You'll be pulled into this world completely. No more normal life." "I don't think normal is an option anymore." "It could be. If you walk away now, I'll set you up somewhere safe. New identity, new life, enough money to never worry. You could start over." "And you?" Pain flickered across his face. "I'd respect your choice, even if it killed me." She studied him. This powerful, dangerous man who turned into a wolf, who'd saved her life, who looked at her like she was the only thing that mattered in the world. "What if I don't want to walk away?" His breath caught. "Priscilla! What if I'm tired of running from this? From you?" She squeezed his hand. "What if I want to see where this goes?" "You don't know what you're saying." "I know exactly what I'm saying." She stood, pulled him up with her. "I'm saying challenge him, fight for your pack, and when you win, because you will win, I'll still be here." Christopher stared at her, like she'd just given him the world. "You're sure?" "No, I'm terrified. This is insane." She reached up, cupped his face. "But I'm not running anymore." "So show me," she finished. "Show me what being yours really means." Christopher's control shattered. He kissed her like a drowning man finding air. Deep, consuming, desperate. His hands buried in her hair, angling her head to deepen the kiss. Priscilla gasped against his mouth, gripped his shoulders, kissed him back with everything she had. When they finally pulled apart, breathless, his eyes burned a vivid gold. "You have no idea what you do to me," he rasped. "Then show me that, too." He kissed her again, slower this time, reverent, like she was something precious he couldn't quite believe was real. "Mine," he murmured against her lips. "Yours," she agreed. Something clicked into place. She felt it, a warmth spreading through her chest, wrapping around her heart. The bond Christopher had mentioned. No longer potential, but real. His eyes widened. "You feel it?" "Yeah." She pressed her hand to her chest. "Is that?" "The bond, forming between us." He rested his forehead against hers. "You just accepted me. Us. And there's no taking it back now." "Good." She smiled. "Because I'm all in, Christopher Aslan. Werewolf Alpha and all." The joy on his face was blinding. Chapter 10. The Challenge. The meeting happened 3 days later. Christopher had called together every alpha in the Southeast. Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, the Carolinas. Neutral ground, a warehouse in industrial Atlanta. Priscilla stood beside him, wearing confidence she didn't entirely feel. Every wolf in the building could probably smell her fear, but she refused to cower. "You didn't have to come," Christopher murmured. "Yes, I did." She squeezed his hand. "We're in this together, remember?" His smile was fierce, proud. Greaves stood at the center of the gathered alphas, still arrogant despite knowing what was coming. "Aslan." Greaves's eyes slid to Priscilla. "Brought your pet?" "Brought my mate," Christopher corrected, voice deadly calm. "The one your pack members attacked. Twice. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. An older woman stepped forward, silver hair, commanding presence. Lorelei Hayes, Augusta Pack. Can you prove this claim? Nolan appeared with a tablet. Traffic cameras, cell footage, 3 separate incidents, all Greaves's wolves. He played the videos. The attempted kidnapping. The attack on Peachtree Street. Even footage from the first confrontation in Christopher's office. The room went silent. Attacking another alpha's mate is forbidden, Lorelei said flatly. Greaves, you know the law. She's human, Greaves spat. She doesn't count. She's mated to an alpha, that's all that matters. A younger alpha, Kieran Moss from Charleston, stepped forward. You violated pack law multiple times. Christopher moved to the center of the circle. I'm issuing formal challenge. Combat, to the death or submission, as is my right under pack law. Greaves paled. You can't? I can, and I am. Christopher's eyes glowed. You came for my mate. Now you answer to me. This is insane. Over a human. Over my mate. Christopher's voice dropped to a growl. Accept the challenge or forfeit your pack and territory now. Greaves looked around. Found no sympathy. The other alphas watched with cold calculation. Pack law was absolute. Fine, Greaves snarled. I accept, but when I kill you, your little human becomes mine. Christopher moved faster than thought, had Greaves by the throat before anyone could blink. Say that again, Christopher whispered. I dare you. Christopher! Priscilla's voice cut through the rage. Don't! Not yet! He froze, looked back at her. She walked forward until she stood right beside him. Looked Greaves dead in the eye. You won't touch me, because he's going to destroy you. Her voice was steady, strong. And when you're bleeding in the dirt, you'll remember this moment, when you underestimated both of us. Christopher released Greaves, who stumbled back. Tomorrow night, Lorelei declared. Full moon, Piedmont Park. All alphas witness. The meeting dissolved. Alphas approached Christopher, offering support, acknowledgement. Several introduced themselves to Priscilla with genuine respect. Lorelei was last. Your mate has steel in her spine. I like her. So do I, Christopher said, wrapping an arm around Priscilla's waist. Win tomorrow, Aslan. The Southeast needs your leadership, not Greaves's chaos. Lorelei nodded to Priscilla. Welcome to our world, child. You'll need that steel. When they were alone in the car, Priscilla finally let herself shake. You were incredible, Christopher said. I was terrified. You were perfect. He kissed her temple. Tomorrow, this ends. And then what? Then we figure out what forever looks like. He laced his fingers through hers. Together. Chapter 11. The fight. Piedmont Park at midnight was surreal. Wolves from across the southeast gathered in the open field. Humans jogged past on the paths, completely unaware of the supernatural congregation in the shadows. Priscilla stood with Nolan and Bellamy, Christopher's beta and assistant respectively. Both had revealed themselves as pack members over the past week. He'll be fine, Bellamy assured her. Christopher's the strongest alpha I've ever seen. Greaves fights dirty, though, Nolan added. So stay alert. Lorelei stepped into the center of the clearing. By pack law, this challenge stands. Christopher Aslan of Atlanta versus Darius Greaves of Savannah. Combat to death or submission. The victor claims territory and pack rights. Christopher entered the circle. He'd stripped down to just pants, every muscle defined in the moonlight. His eyes already glowed gold. Greaves circled from the opposite side, bigger, bulkier, mean smile on his face. Last chance to back out, Aslan, Greaves taunted. Give me the human, and I'll let you keep your pack. Come try to take her. Christopher's voice was barely human. I'll enjoy ripping you apart. Lorelei dropped her hand. Begin. Greaves shifted first. Bones cracking, body expanding. A massive russet-colored wolf exploded from where the man had stood. Christopher's shift was faster, smoother. His dark brown wolf was slightly smaller, but moved like liquid violence. The wolves collided in a tangle of fur and fangs. Priscilla's hand flew to her mouth. The bond let her feel Christopher's focus, his determination. Every hit he took, she felt an echo of. The fight was brutal. Greaves fought with raw power, trying to overwhelm through strength. Christopher fought with precision, targeting weak points, using Greaves's momentum against him. They separated, circling, both bleeding from multiple wounds. Greaves lunged. Christopher dodged, spun, sank teeth into the other wolf's shoulder. Greaves howled, thrashed free. The fight raged for 10 minutes, 15, both wolves tiring, but neither backing down. Then Greaves made his mistake. He feinted toward Christopher, but changed direction mid-leap, headed straight for Priscilla. Nolan shoved her behind him. Bellamy shifted, ready to defend. But Christopher was faster. He intercepted Greaves in mid-air. They crashed to the ground in a snarling mass, and this time, Christopher didn't let go. His jaws locked around Greaves's throat. One precise bite, not killing, just holding. Greaves went still. The submission was clear. Christopher held the position for 5 long seconds, making his point, then released. Greaves shifted back to human form, gasping. Blood ran from his throat, not fatal, but close. "Submit," Christopher growled, still in wolf form. Greaves coughed. "I submit. You win." Lorelei stepped forward. "By pack law, Darius Greaves has submitted. Christopher Aslan is victor. Greaves's pack and territory transfer to Aslan's control." Christopher shifted back, stood over Greaves, breathing hard. "You have 24 hours to leave the southeast," Christopher said. "After that, you're trespassing, and I won't be merciful twice." Greaves's remaining wolves helped him up. They limped away into the darkness. The gathered alphas approached Christopher, acknowledged his victory, his authority. But Christopher's eyes found Priscilla's. He crossed to her in 4 strides, pulled her close. "It's over," he said. "You're hurt." "I'm fine, already healing." He cupped her face. "Are you okay? You almost died and you're asking if I'm okay?" "Always." He kissed her. "You're my priority. Forever." The other alphas politely looked away. Priscilla kissed him back, not caring who watched. He was alive, safe, hers. "Take me home," she whispered. "Anything you want." Chapter 12, Claimed. The penthouse was quiet when they returned. Christopher's wounds had already closed. Accelerated healing, he'd explained, but exhaustion lined his face. "Shower," Priscilla ordered. "Then bed. You need rest." Bossy. But he smiled. "Someone has to take care of the big bad alpha." He caught her hand before she could leave. "Stay." "Christopher. Not like that. Just stay close." His voice went rough. "I need to know you're safe. Here. With me." How could she say no to that? She showered in the guest bathroom while he used the master. When she emerged in borrowed pajamas, she found him on his bed, covers pulled back on both sides. "I know you have your own room," he said, "but after tonight, I need you near, please." Priscilla climbed in beside him. Christopher immediately pulled her close, tucked her against his chest. His heart beat steady beneath her ear. "I was terrified," she admitted quietly. "When he went for me, and you—" "I'll always protect you." His arms tightened. "That's what mates do. What I do. It goes both ways, you know, protecting each other." "I know." He kissed the top of her head. "You protected me tonight, too. Kept me grounded when I wanted to kill him." "Partners," she said. "Partners," he agreed. They lay in comfortable silence. The city lights filtered through the windows, casting soft shadows. "What happens now?" Priscilla asked. "Now you meet the pack officially, learn our ways. Decide how involved you want to be." He tilted her chin up. But no pressure. We move at your pace. What if my pace is fast? His eyes flashed gold. Then we move fast. She kissed him, soft and slow and full of promise. When they pulled apart, Christopher's smile was pure joy. I love you, he said, simply, absolutely. Have since the moment mint chocolate chip ruined my favorite suit. Priscilla laughed. I love you too, even though you're a territorial, overprotective werewolf who doesn't understand personal boundaries. Especially because of that? Maybe. She settled against his chest. Definitely. They fell asleep tangled together, alpha and mate, wolf and human, building something extraordinary from an ice cream collision. 5 months later, Priscilla stood in Christopher's, their, kitchen, attempting to make breakfast. The pancakes looked less like hockey pucks this time. Progress. Arms wrapped around her waist. Christopher nuzzled her neck, morning stubble scratching pleasantly. Pancakes again? He murmured. They're getting better. They're almost edible. That's improvement. He kissed behind her ear. Want help? I've got this. She flipped one successfully. See? Talent. He laughed. That deep, warm sound that still made her stomach flutter. 5 months since everything changed, since ice cream and destiny collided on the Atlanta sidewalk. She'd learned the pack dynamics, made friends with wolves from across the southeast, even learned some self-defense from Nolan. Not that she needed it with Christopher hovering constantly. They'd settled into a rhythm, work during the day, pack business at night, stolen moments in between where they were just Christopher and Priscilla, no alpha titles required. Pack meeting tonight? Christopher said, pouring coffee. The Everest family from Nashville. Want to establish trade agreements? Need me there? Always. He handed her a mug. You're my partner. Where I go, you go. She smiled, set down the spatula. I have something for you. If it's another designer tie. It's not. She pulled a small box from her pocket, velvet, ring-sized. Christopher went very still. Before you panic, she said quickly, it's not an engagement ring, not exactly, but I wanted you to have this. She opened the box. Inside sat a silver ring, wolf design etched around the band. It's a mate ring, she explained. Bellamy helped me design it. Shows everyone you're claimed to, that you're mine as much as I'm yours. Christopher stared at the ring, then at her. His eyes went suspiciously bright. Priscilla Smith, are you claiming me? Completely. Absolutely. Forever. She took the ring out. Will you wear it? He extended his hand, let her slide it on. Perfect fit. I love you, he said, voice rough with emotion. More than I thought possible. I love you too. She pulled him down for a kiss. Even when you're insufferable and overprotective and refuse to let me take the subway. Especially then? Especially then. He kissed her thoroughly. The pancakes burned. They didn't care. Because sometimes the best love stories started with ice cream and chaos, with impossible truths and monsters who turned out to be men with fierce hearts and gentle souls. And if Priscilla had learned anything in the past 6 months, it was that when a werewolf alpha claimed you as his mate on a random Tuesday in Atlanta, life became extraordinary. One burned pancake at a time. Hey everyone! I hope you loved Priscilla and Christopher's story. If you enjoyed this, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and drop a comment telling me what you thought. Should I make more werewolf romance stories? What kind of supernatural love story do you want next? Dragons? Vampires? Let me know. And don't forget, drop your city or country in the comments. I love seeing where all my amazing viewers are watching from. Thanks for being here. See you in the next story. Happy new family. Have a great 2026.